type.
Do you think that the conflict at present, that we see at present, could be termed at all as a conflict between the entrenched interests of the Urdu-speaking people, middle class, and the rising aspirations of the Sindhi middle class, which, as you said, was very small and very weak, but the conflict is between the middle classes of the two.
One element, as you said, is this. Another element is the conflict between the remnants of the autocratic, despotic Mughal Empire and the awakening peasantry of the Indo-Pakistan subcontinent. Everywhere the peasantry in Bihar, is fighting there. In Bengal, in southern things, they are fighting. This will continue against urban domination of the elite belonging to the courts and the feudal survivals. These people who are middle classes, they don't carry the middle class culture. They don't represent the middle class culture. They don't represent the bourgeois, modern, rising bourgeois culture. They represent the survivals of the remnant of the Mughal Empire. But they're all culture. They all go back. The fascism. What is capitalism if it's not democracy? Democracy, open competition, friendliness, awakening, lightness, brotherhood, fundamental rights. What is the bourgeois doing in the Latin American countries? What is it doing elsewhere in Southeast Asia? It is a carrier of the new ideas, excepting in a few backward medieval countries like it. Even the Saudi bourgeois is rising for democratize. At that time, this bourgeois, this reactionary Delhi and Lucknow-oriented bourgeois, is taking us back to centuries.
One more question. The government, as well as the...
Excuse me, can I have a copy of this interview? I'll pay for it. Thank you, thank you.
The government, as well as the opposition, have been saying that Kashmir will be part of Pakistan on the basis that Kashmiris are Muslims. Within Pakistan, in Sindh, well, actually I should say, within Pakistan, there has been conflict between Sindhi and Punjabi, conflict between Urdu-speaking Mahajir, Sindhi, and we're all supposed to be Muslims. And Pakistan is supposed to be, the state says, the state ideology says that Pakistan was created by Islam. Seeing all this here, how can we ask for Kashmir, simply because it's Muslim, to become part of Pakistan?
I totally agree with you. I don't believe this thing, this believe in the thing that somebody is a Muslim, therefore should belong to me. Why should the Kashmiris not be the masters of their own thing if they wish to? If they wish to join with Pakistan, they're good. Fine. If they wish to join with India, fine. If they don't want to join with anybody, fine. Tomorrow they may like to join Pakistan, but there should be no compulsion. I agree with you totally. Why not?
Can you comment on the ideology of Pakistan?
I think the ideology of Pakistan was that there was a danger, real and present danger of economic, political, cultural domination of the Muslims of the subcontinent by the Hindu majority, which unfortunately our relations were not very good because of the British element, and then because of the domination of Hindus by people who called themselves Muslims. They were not one of us. How can these marauders and plunderers who raped our grandmothers be one of us? They are not one of us. I don't consider them to be there. I'm not one of those people who consider this our thing. We were the victims of that thing, in any case. But the fact remained that was a thing. So, there's no harm if people who feel themselves threatened to have their autonomy and they have their state to matter and they can unite and they can have understanding. But this concept that you are never to meet and you are never to come to terms and you have always to be in a state of war, this suits only the ruling classes who are mostly coming from feudal classes. So, formation of on the basis of religion is a thing which I don't subscribe to. It's Israel there and it's there. Do you know what happens? When you say, what these dictators do, when you say, you made Islam for the sake of God, I said, yes. You didn't live with the Hindus because you didn't live with the Hindus because you were Muslims, I said, yes. You'll go by the injection of the Quran, yes, of course. You want a separate state for that, yes. You have had it, yes. Now show us where in the Quran is there an injunction that elections must be held. Show us in the Quran the ayat under which elections are to be compulsorily held. Show us in the Quran the ayats which say that there should be fundamental rights. Show us in the Quran where a Chief Justice and judges and Supreme Court should be there. So, as if you have committed political harakiri on 14th August 1975. as they interpreted it, as they have utilized us. They are blackmailing us in the name of Islam. They are Muslims. Therefore, you are now sense rights, sense humanity, sense legal protections, sense constitutional guarantees. You are a persona non grata, and you are a person without entity. You don't exist in the committee of nations. You are Muslims. I am your master. I am your Atiullah wa Atiur Rasul amri minkum. That's all nonsense, and we have been blackmailed, and people are realizing it. And everybody should understand what he has let himself in for. Ideology of Pakistan means people should have the right to decide their own fate. Not that they should live like chattel and become the people in bondage like this terrorism. This is all Islam and God and what knows not. I like people like charlatans like General Zia, killers. I mean, if you excuse me, damn it, we are living in the 20th century, going to the 21st century. I want this anachronism to be there. What is this? And a general comes and says, Assalamu alaikum, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. What is this nonsense? Men and women, we are equal, and children have the rights. Nowadays, even a child can't be beaten by the parents. So this is a new world. So the anachronisms have to be fought and to be combated, and we are in for it. We are not only just Sindhis and Mohajis and this. I'm not one of those people. Sindhis, Mohajis, what? We are fighting for women's rights. We are fighting for children's rights. We are fighting for the human rights of the Palestinians, for the Brazilians, for the everywhere. We are just everywhere, and we are participating. The other day I went to Manila. We are fighting for the rights of anti-bases movement. We went, the other time we had demonstration before McClark Field air bases. I was there. This is not Hindu Mohajis, this is not MK, but I was there. We jeopardized my lives. We went to senators. We went to Mr. Commander-in-Chief of Philippine Army. He said, what is your concern? I said, everything that happens in the world is my concern. He said, I'll put you in jail. I said, put us in jail.
I just want to go back to an earlier question about the middle class conflict that we just talked about, and you agreed with me that it is partly that. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Sorry, I missed the point. I'm so sorry.
The earlier question had been on how the conflict is a conflict between the entrenched interests of the Urdu-speaking middle class and the rising interest of the Sindhi middle class, though weak, but it's coming up.
Yes, Sindhi middle class wishes to have equality, and they don't want to give it. There's sometimes they bring one unit, they say you are not Muslims, they call us kafirs, Hindus are dominating you, and all these tricks of the trade which they used to have in India and Lucknow and Delhi and they can't live on equal. This fish cannot exist out of water. They cannot exist without domination. You see, this is their psyche. They must dominate. They must sit over your head. You must serve them. You must be a slave. They do not know how to live in a democratic society. So this middle class doesn't want to have our say, to sit with them, to be sitting on the table. They'll blackmail you. They'll speak against you. Palejo ki lathi charge hogi. I mean, they can't see it like me talking and speaking. I must be just sitting with my head bowed down. चलिए रस्म के कोई न सर चट उठा के चले जो कोई चाहने वाला तवाफ को निकले नजर चुरा के चले जिस्म जान. Now these ignoramuses, they want to dominate us intellectually, who are head and shoulders above them. They are just living in the 10 to 12th centuries. So therefore, this has taken the form of imposing their backwardness upon us, their bigotry, their narrow-mindedness, their viciousness upon us, with the people, with a culture which is composed of all religions, all cultures, open to everybody, friendliness, brotherhood, sisterhood, all for everybody and everybody for all. This is our things. So this is conflicting in the matter of services, education. And Zia used some Sindhi fascist elements to beat Mohajir boys in the university. He did it deliberately. It was the military intelligence who doing it. Those Sindhis were agents of the military, and we condemned them. I fought it. They have shot at. Is there any comrade here who has denounced this MQM? No. Any professor? No. They won't dare to. They are not made of that stuff. I am made of that stuff. I have condemned G.M. Sayyid, the greatest living Sindhi statesman. I said, down with it. You are an agent of the generals. I do it at the risk of my life, because we are progressive. Because we are prepared to pay the price for being progressive. We don't pay lip service, Janabi Ali, Huzuri Ali and all that. I'm there. I've been attacked thrice. I'm receiving threats only day before yesterday. We are going to wish. I'm more afraid of the reactionaries in Sindhi garb than by this. I give you my word of honor that I'm speaking the truth. Yeah, last night I went out. I said there's no terrorists in this area. They said, but there are terrorists in the terrorists. They will eliminate you. You are a danger to them. You talk of progress, liberty, civilization, radical rights, democracy. They hate you like anything. And whatever they hate you, they'll get you killed. I said, yes, this is a possibility. So this entering place wants to keep the Mughal order, domination, sex domination, people's domination, big bosses with the guns, the rule of the gun versus the rule of the democratic human inborn rights of the people of the countries. The new era. I don't call it even the Gorbachev era. The era of man coming, emerging at last on the stage of this earth in danger. This is spaceship Earth, which is really in danger. I am most of the time worried about this earth business. I mean, this temperature is going up. It's terrible. Our concerns are not confined to only this. They have compelled us to waste our time on these things. Otherwise, we should all join hands. In any case, all this has never affected by love for ordinary Urdu-speaking people. We are incapable of that. Incapable.
At the time of the SNA...
I'm not a part of SNA. We have left it.
I know, but there was a conference.
Yes.
And at that time, it was reported that you had said that no Muhajirs...
Please call him. Apologize. Change maaf kar do. You see, when you are talking about liars, if you say that doctors are very nice people and they should come, I will just say no, this is of liars. If you are talking about the victims of Hyderabad, then you cannot be talking about the victims of Karachi, and they cannot be mixed if you are talking about this thing. I say, on this platform, let there be Sindhis only. Sindhi speaking, because we are dealing with speaking with the oppressed people of the, not of oppressed people of the Sindh entirely. We are dealing with only the complaints and grievances of only a particular section of the people, and that section should be here. Now, you record their grievances, think out the strategy, then we go forward, tell the other side, let us talk and sit at the table. As we lawyers, we don't refuse to meet the other party, but we only prepare our case, we talk and decide what is our strategy, what shall we say, then we go to the court, another side gets an opportunity, he states his own case, I state my own case. Then we come and bargain and we quarrel and we talk and listen. How are you going to prepare the case when you are having the other party also at that time? This was specifically meant to deal with the specific individual grievances of the people of Sindh since the formation of Pakistan. Let us prepare our case and let us go to there. I hold to that view. Otherwise, in Awami National Party, I said we have already all Mawjis, many Mawjis. Even today, the other day, yesterday, after we met in the Supreme Court, we are friends. I mean, this thing is not going to prevent us from being human beings and friends and all that. We are not that sort of, we are different people altogether. We are not killers. Not an iota of the love for the people of Urdu-speaking people, or for that matter anybody, has been reduced. So, I still continue that. There should be one platform where, if we are talking about Memon Brotherly, how are you going to have Pashtuns there under Memon Brotherly? Yes, bring Pashtuns and Memon Brotherlies together, prepare the cases, let them talk and let them do this. This is only to facilitate, to do the thing that has to be done, that's all. It has no connotations, absolutely none. Do you get my point? Am I clear?